Today we're solving systems algebraically, no graphing on this one. So I got the steps here. Feel free to pause it so you can fill in the blanks, but here's what we got. We're going to line the equations up. We're going to get the x's and y's on the same side, and we're going to get the numbers on the other side. We're going to look at the coefficients, which are the numbers in front of the x and y. Decide if you have opposite signs or the same sign with the terms that have the same coefficient. We'll see what that means in a minute here. We're going to add or subtract the equations, and then we'll solve for the variable that is left. Once you know one of the variables, you can substitute it back in and solve for the other variable. So let's get ripping and roaring. Again, pause it if you need to fill in those blanks. Here we go. We're going to stack these up on top of each other. So we have negative x plus 2y equals negative 8, and x minus 6y equals negative 16. I'm just going to write that second equation underneath here. X plus 6y equals negative 16. Now, if you look at the x's, we have negative x and positive x. If we add those together, we get 0x. It's been eliminated. Elimination, baby. Here we go. So we're adding everything straight down. Negative x plus x, nothing. 2y plus 6y is 8y. And negative 8 plus negative 16 is negative 24. Oh my goodness, that's a one-step equation. 8 times y, so we're going to undo that by dividing both sides by 8. Y equals negative 3. We have half of our coordinate. We just need the x. So we're going to substitute in. You can use either equation. I always say look for which one looks easier for you to solve. I think that second one looks easier, x plus 6y. So x plus 6y, and y is negative 3, equals negative 16. Now 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. So x minus 18 equals negative 16. And then you solve that by adding 18 to both sides. X equals 2. We write our final answers as a coordinate. X goes first. So 2, negative 3. So if we were to graph these two equations, they would intersect each other at 2, negative 3. I'd like you to pause, and I'd like you to try this one out, see how you do. I'm going to do it right now. Negative x plus 2y equals 2. So x plus negative x is nothing. Y plus 2y is 3y. 1 plus 2 is 3. We would divide both sides by 3. We get y equals 1. We still need x. You can use either equation. I'm going with the first one. X plus y equals 1. Now those parentheses don't matter on this one, but usually when you substitute, it is a good idea to put in parentheses. So here we're going to subtract 1 from both sides. X equals 0, so our coordinate would be 0, 1. Yes! We did it! All right. Here we go. Ooh, fun. So we're going to stack them on top of each other. So I'll put the x plus 10y equals 13 here. Now, if we were to add straight down, x plus x is 2x. We're trying to get rid of the x's. So you could subtract them, x minus x. That'll work. But I feel like people make mistakes when they do subtraction. So what I'd recommend to cover the subtraction step is take one whole equation and just make everything the opposite. So if we did that with like our second equation here, we can make it negative x, negative 10y, and negative 13. That is the subtraction step. So now we can do x plus negative x, nothing. Negative 3y plus negative 10y would be negative 13y. And then 0 plus negative 13 is negative 13. Go ahead and divide both sides by negative 13. We get y equals 1. We still need x. You can use the two original ones. You could even use the one that we changed to make everything the opposite. I'm going to go with that first equation. X minus 3y, 3 times 1, equals 0. So that would give us x minus 3 equals 0. And you add 3 to both sides. x equals 3. So our coordinate would be 3, 1. Go ahead and pause it and try out the next one. I'm going to take one equation, make it all the opposite, because they're both currently negative 2y. We want one positive, we want one negative. So I'm going to change that second equation. That would give us 4x, 0y's equals 6. Whew. So if we divide by 4, we get 3 over 2, or that's 1.5, or 1.5. You can use any version of that. Let's get wild and use the 3 over 2 because we're cool like that. You can use any equation. Let's say I went with the first one, the x minus 2y. Oh, yeah, that stinks. Let's use 1.5. So we'll have 1.5 minus 2y equals 4. So we can subtract the 1.5 from both sides. Negative 2y equals 2.5. And then if we divide that by negative 2, we get y equals negative 1.25. So our coordinate would be 1.5 and negative 1.25. That's why I like elimination way better than graphing, because you wouldn't be able to tell those decimals on a graph if you graphed it yourself, right? I don't know where negative 1.25 would be. How do I know it's not negative 1.3? It's just my eyeballs. All right, we got one more. Oh, all right. If we, we got to do some rearranging. So like here, we want the x on the other side with the y. So we'd have to add it to the other side. So it'd be positive 5x plus 2y equals 12. Now I notice that both of these are positive 2y. We want one of those to be negative. So we could just go through this equation, make everything the opposite. 3x plus negative 5x, or 3 minus 5 is negative 2x. 2y plus negative 2y, 0y. 8 plus negative 12, or 8 minus 12 is negative 4. So now if we divide both sides by negative 2, we get x equals 2. Still need y. We can use any equation. I have space over here, so let's go with the original one. 2y equals 12 minus 5x, 5 times 2. So that would give us 2y equals 12 minus 10. 12 minus 10 is 2, so 2y equals 2. Divide both by 2, and we get y equals 1. So our coordinate would be 2, 1. We got one more for you to try out. You need to rearrange that first equation. So hopefully you're thinking, hey, I'll add that 2x to the other side. And I'm going to put them under the second one. So we'd have 2x plus 2y equals negative 2. We're going to have to change one of those equations. Let's say I just changed the second one. So now we'd have 0x, 1y, 12 plus 2 is 14. Still need x. You can use any of the equations. Let's say I went with the second one. 2x plus 3y, 3 times 14 equals 12. Now 3 times 14 is 42. 2x plus 42 equals 12. We're going to have to subtract that 42. 2x equals negative 30. Divide both sides by 2, and we get x equals negative 15. So our coordinate would be negative 15, 14. And a lot of times the graphs you guys get only go up to 10. So again, that would be challenging to solve by graphing. A little bit easier with elimination.